Folks, once again, it's time for another Duffer's moment. It is the end of the Masters, and the winner is present along with some cohorts here today. Welcome to the show. Myself, Duffer 2, Nick. We have Duffer 1, David, and we have a very special guest today. We have Don't Rory Be Happy.
That's right.
Dustin. How you guys doing?
Good.
All right.
Good day.
Oh, David, look at you. Like you're trying to hide those tears right now.
Yeah, that's why the glasses are on. I'm hiding the tears of shame.
It's okay. It's okay. You know, we all can't be winners. We all can't be winners. But today I am. So let's celebrate that.
Are you giving the trophy? I saw that there was a recording about a trophy. So does that mean that you get the trophy?
I do. And David, you know, is not being a very gracious winner. He said he's going to loser. I'm sorry. Yeah, he's gonna just put an asterisk on it.
It is. It's going to be one complete thing of asterisks right here across the bottom. The next one up is going to say collusion.
I'm going to celebrate that with my Snoop Dogg Cali Rose right here. You know,
well, I will make it official. Congrats, Duffer 2. The
thank you.
Hand off of the Duffer's trophy to the next major that comes out. I think is the Open, or is it the Players? I think it's the Players is next.
I think it is the Players. It is.
He will hold the trophy until then, where I will randomly take it back.
Okay.
By scoring over 200 points in my design, because from
write that down. 200 points.
200 points.
Here out.
I think you said over 200 points.
I think
nothing but analytics studies. I'm putting up charts. I'm calling people. I'm talking to their nutritionists. Everything. Oh no. This is going down.
This is going to get real. So this whole fantasy thing, I don't think is going to be stopping anytime soon.
No.
So let's go ahead and take a look at the scoreboard and see how everybody shook out. You know, like I said, we took our picks early on Tuesday, and so we went ahead and made them public. We invited a bunch of people to come play with us, which we had a great showing. I think it was
great showing.
Yeah, I think it was awesome, especially for being kind of last minute. We put a bunch of invites out. We got some fans, we got some coworkers, we got friends, we got a bunch of stuff in here. So let's take a look at the scoreboard and how everything shook out. Again, I won with 100 points. I think that's great. I mean, we talked about the picks early on. You guys gave me a bunch of crap about Bryson DeChambeau, which didn't work out, which I'll be the first one to admit wasn't a great pick, but
look, he was a great. I will say he was a great pick. He was kind of a risk because he either was going to pay off really big or he was going to hurt you really big.
Right.
Either way.
Yeah.
And the first couple of days he did good for you.
Yeah, he did. He did really well. And what was it? Day 2, he put up 12. Was it 12 points? I don't remember. But one day he put up some big numbers, and then after that he kind of tapered off. Which, whatever. I mean, the guy's, you know, his pre-interview, like Dustin was talking about, he's talking about bombing it over the trees, and everybody's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? There's no way you're doing that." So it was, you know, it was good. But so I came in with 100 points, which I think is very respectable. Looking at, I think I was in the top 5% among all the winners, which was fantastic. Next up was MF Bacon. As I don't know who MF Bacon is. I don't think anybody.
That is Steven's cousin.
Motherfucking Bacon. All right, perfect. So MF Bacon, and then we have Bryce Gruba, who I sent a text to and asked him if he wanted to be on. Didn't get a reply. Must be crying in his Cheerios. I'm not sure. And then we have Duffer 1, who came in 4th place with a 71. So just 29 points off the lead, but as we saw throughout the whole tournament, 29 points was not a huge lead. It really wasn't. Like, you could swing 29 points in a day. All David needed was an extra day of play.
But again, I took Rory. I was, and had I listened a little bit to to where he was at in his game coming into the Masters, and actually understood the point structure of the Masters before making final picks, that would have been a different one. Yep. Now, I will give kudos. The fact that you took the first timer and the international, who ends up coming 1st and 2nd place, is where those 29 points came from.
Oh yeah.
You got two phenomenal picks that out of the gate I wouldn't have taken. Obviously, I didn't take them, but it paid off so well over 4 days, and that's what's kept you right there. And even the commentators for the Masters even said year over year over year, the player that avoids the bogeys, even if they go 9, 10 pars in a row, and they strike when, the par fives, they strike, when, you can get that birdie, but you keep yourself out of trouble and you keep yourself just, along the lines. That's what did it. I mean, he pretty much carried you, that one player, through the entire fantasy league.
The Zalatoris?
No.
Hideki?
Yeah, because he kept he went all day yesterday with 0 bogeys.
Yeah.
So, and anything positive he put up, and on moving day, that was your biggest swing. It was. We watched it go up and down, and that's what was so much fun, I think, about playing, this fantasy league. Dusty even said it today. Sitting on the couch, she goes, "I don't think I've watched you watch a Masters as much as you watched, with Tiger not playing." Right. Because there was just so much more on the line. This just reminds me of fantasy football and stuff as well.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Dusty, go ahead.
Everybody else did, the lowest player got 8 points, Mr. Whalen. But, I think the biggest victory we can find here is the victory from Dusty to Chris, and Chris is not here. Obviously, he's decided to sulk in his loss, and but we do have Dusty on board, and she made some interesting picks for sure. Day one, you were negative at the end of the day, and then you've just steadily come up. So I mean. Never was really worried about you hitting the top, but definitely I was watching the matchup. Well, hey, I mean,
No. That's fair, because the way that I looked at the picks was, and I told David this, I was trying not to go with the super obvious choices. Sure. I was trying to, day one, I went with Ortiz instead everybody was ranking in the top 2 players. And I was like, well, if he has a good tournament, he's going to have a great tournament. Yeah. So I did a lot of picks that were that if they come off, they're going to go amazing. And I knew that after day 2, if they miss the cut, then we can flip it up a little bit.
Well, yeah, and doing that, taking some of those a little more risky players. I mean, you do have the chance at that point to swap them out if they didn't make the cut, which you did. You made a couple changes, which was good. So yeah, I mean, you ended up positive. You ended up in 8th place. Which, hey, I think is pretty good. But I think the biggest victory here is just, being able to rub it in Chris's face because, he on day one, he was David and I were talking, and he would call every 15 minutes. Oh, you see Rosie? You see how good he's doing? Oh, he's killing it. And honestly, I thought because I knew Fred Couples wasn't going to make it.
Well, weird pick. I had some weird picks, but that was a weird
pick. And then, so I was like, if he's able to swap him out and Rosie keeps scoring the way he's scoring, I can't beat him. I cannot beat him. Thankfully, he's he didn't make any better choices going forward.
Well, Rosie ended up with 2.
But Rosie himself, he just imploded. He didn't ride the confidence of day one.
Right.
Had he rode that confidence and played as well as he did on day one, I don't think anybody would have touched him. No. I think it could have looked like DJ did last year. I mean, he started the first round 7 under.
7 under.
So when you just take that type of commanding lead on day one, that's why Chris took the wire to wire bet. He lost. It's $10 in my pocket, but it was
Then he's not going to pay you, I think, right? Is that what he said? He's not going to pay you?
Yeah, it'll be a year worth of trying to get that money out.
Is it worth the $10? I'm going to start with my victory drink here. It's 19 crimes time, and it's time to get my rose on with my rose colored shirt.
I feel like we have that one, but it's not. Yours looks like a totally different bottle than I have. That's the one that speaks to you, right?
Yeah. But this is Yeah, this is the Cali Rose, and it is good. It is good. Yeah, it is a really. It's good if you're gonna have like what did we eat the other day? Chicken salad and some rosé. I was like, shit, yeah.
All day.
All day.
Did she go all day?
She went all day.
Rosé all day.
This is what Victors do. They drink out of the bottle. You're lucky you're not here. I'd spray it
Usually
on you.
it's champagne. I was gonna say champagne.
Yeah,
Gatorade.
Amber was like, do not take champagne into your office. You're going to spray it, and I'm going to have to clean the floor. So, fine. I'll go with the non-carbonated shit, or the stuff that's not as carbonated, and I don't have to pop the bottle. Yeah, I get it.
So giving a shout out to Snoop. How is the actual?
Oh, it's phenomenal. Like it is sweet, but not too sweet. A really sweet rosé I don't like, but this is like it's got it's just not overly sweet. It's very tasty. Oh. Like I said, the loser always joins 5 minutes late. Look at there. 5 minutes late. 5 minutes late. Oh, hello, Giggity.
Giggity shows up to the party.
Wow. Shows up. We were just talking about you and the fact that Dustin beat you.
Well, wouldn't be that hard.
Well, we'd love to hear how you thought the tournament went and how you feel about your picks from day one.
Well, had I paid attention, I never would have picked couples.
Well, yeah.
Why did you pick him? That was really even. Yeah. Why did you pick him?
He's literally my favorite player.
Because he's old?
No, I've followed couples for a long time.
I get it. But what did he score on day one? I didn't pay attention. I just saw he had negative points.
-8.
It wasn't that bad.
She had it in the holster.
-8. -8.
She's got it pulled up just to, yeah.
-6. -6 day 2.
She's running the stats down the board like a true champion. She's like, no. If you notice here, when he bogeyed number 14.
Oh, he did. Holy shit. Dustin has it written down. So he scored a -8 day one. Zach Johnson, -4. But yeah, see, and I was just telling these guys, I don't know if you were watching, but if you had better picks and you had Justin Rose day one, I was legitimately worried. Because that guy just came on the course and murdered it day one. Just murdered it. 17 points. But yeah, it was completely offset with your other picks. So
But here's the question now is now that if they do the same scoring structure
right
for players, I don't think you're gonna see a scoreboard like this. I think it's gonna come down to, a true 79, 78, 77. Like I think it's gonna be a tight race all the way through. Knowing how you have to structure your bogeys versus your par better into a player.
Well, it's who was it that only had 3 players the entire time?
Which
T-Dubs, right?
It was A. Scott, not Adam. So it was like A. Scott, who took 6th, never played a first timer.
Never played a first timer.
Which in a way was kind of brilliant, but at the same time, like he didn't
from
take
a strategy perspective.
Had he had played it, I don't think he would have took 6th. I think he would actually have gone less.
Well, hold on. I mean, if he would have chosen
yes, he would have actually blown. He would have probably gave you a run for the money.
Potentially, yeah, because Zalatoris on day one took 8, 9, 5, and 7. So yeah, so he would have it would have been a much tighter race. So yeah, it's interesting. If they do the fantasy for the players, it'll be interesting to see how everybody picks. I'm going to continue to do my homework. See, here's the funny part. Going into this on Tuesday, David was giving me all kinds of crap because he's like, Zalatoris. I'm like, dude, I've done so much Googling on this kid. Like, I've watched every interview from every backwoods dipshit from Alabama to Waste Management talking about how good this kid is. So I was like, yeah, I'm taking him. Because
stalker.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's a restraining order. and it's okay. I'm okay with that. You know, I mean, David's got a restraining order against him for Thomas, but I mean, we don't talk about it very much. He knows what he had for breakfast. He knows what he had for a snack on the course.
That's okay. You both are knocking Ricky Fowler, so I feel like you're both like stalking Ricky from both sides.
Oh, I've been dogging David on Ricky Fowler.
It's not for Ricky.
He got
Not to change the subject, but come on.
He got paid very well for his Corona commercials. So I mean, he still made out. You know, he didn't win the Masters. He's not putting a jacket on, but he's still taking a check to the bank.
Who?
Ricky Fowler.
For the Masters?
Doing Corona commercials.
Corona commercials of him sitting in a sand trap while everybody else was playing. Did you not see that commercial?
I don't watch TV.
Oh my God, that was hysterical.
I don't watch TV.
The Corona decided to broadcast Ricky Fowler sitting in a beach chair instead of a sand trap, drinking a Corona while everyone else is playing the Masters. So every time they went to commercial, it was Ricky drinking a Corona in a sand trap. I thought it was the best you guys ever movement for Ricky.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess what I'd really like to know is like, what would you have done differently? I guess knowing what you know now, what would you have done differently? Chris, if you know, why don't you tell us what would you do differently?
I probably would have had the same picks except for couples.
Okay. Even so, where did Justin Rose end up? I haven't looked at the scoreboard.
6. I think he was 6 under. 5.
So
5 under.
Yeah, so he ended up 5 under. I still think that would have been a pretty good pick.
Oh, absolutely. I think anyone there in the top 10, if you look at the people that took 6th place and higher, I believe they have somebody who's in the top 10. With amongst their 4 players, it was somebody all within the top 10.
Right.
No, that's like I said. So I think going into the next tournament, it's going to be very interesting because now that you know the point structure, now that you know how it's kind of played and laid out, you're kind of betting on who knows the course, who's gonna play close to to keeping no bogeys on the card,
right?
To really excel. I think that was the unique piece of it, because you had Bryson on day 3.
Yeah.
Go pull since you're pulling it up. Go to day 3. So look at this. He had a double bogey, bogey, birdie, double bogey, birdie. It scored. Oh yeah, he ended up getting. I think it was an eagle today that gave you the big jump.
Yeah.
But it's like because of those 2 points versus 1 point, it gives you such a big swing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I think, Chris, you're probably right. If you kept Justin Rose and just swapped out couples, you probably would have been pretty.
I think he would have been 4th, 5th.
A lot of negative points from couples.
Yeah.
There's a lot of negative points.
So
and you picked Speed, so you would have had 16 instead of negative 14.
Right.
So I mean, that's one of those things. So, I think if they do the fantasy for the other majors, it's definitely going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting to get the little plaques to put on this little trophy there for you, Nick. And we're going to trade hands. I'm going to get a nice little felt little box to ship this out to you in. So you have it for the next 4 weeks or whatever until the next major. There will be an unboxing ceremony here live on StreamYard. So it'll happen.
Does he get a pair of those glasses too?
He can wear the glasses were hiding the tears from earlier. I just couldn't accept the loss.
The text back and forth kind of said it all. I think he actually told me to eat a bag of dicks at one point.
I think twice actually.
Twice. Yeah. And there might have been more like in person, but I didn't hear those. I just got the ones that he actually wrote.
They started last night. If you look at your Instagram, he on your Instagram whatever stories.
Yeah.
He told you to eat a bag of dicks there too. So
Full bag.
So three or four times. 3 or 4 times. Which I'm okay with.
But again,
he's not a sore loser.
No matter how I would have looked at the card, I think we all did a little bit of we all took kind of like who our favorite we thought was going to win from a favorite standpoint, right? Versus read the rules of the fantasy thing and then actually did a little bit of research on who was going to perform better one way or not. Just Bryson again, he's such an anomaly, and this is where I've said it before. It's like he's a golfer that turned into a long driver.
Yeah,
and he can't dial the rest of it in. You cannot control a 400-yard drive. Every one of those was like just a hit and pray that it lands somewhere in bounds. The one par 5 he did today that came up in the middle of the fairway that it gave him like 160 yards. I think this is it right there.
This is it.
That one right there. 160-yard in shot where the next closest person was like 223.
Yeah.
And it was like I said, okay, it paid off for you once.
Yeah.
But you can't do that for 18 holes, especially at Augusta.
No, and
I think he might be able to pull this off at some other tournaments, but you're not doing that at Augusta.
And because he got a eagle on 13, he won some crystal. He wins some crystal goblets or something like that. They're the Masters goblets. They were talking about it. He's the only one in the field this week that actually hit a eagle on that hole. So like I said, it was. I'm a big Bryson fan. I think he's got a big future, but this was definitely not a stellar performance. However, that one right there, he was actually off the green and it caught traction and almost came back, which is kind of cool.
Here's the thing: I hope there's some truth to Berkshire.
Mm-hmm.
I hope there's some truth to him actually trying to come out on tour.
I think there is, because
I'd love to see these two go head to head.
Yeah,
because I have a feeling, despite the fact that Berkshire can hit a goddamn mile, he would throttle back. Where Bryson is constantly trying to throttle forward. And if Berkshire could learn the short game, aspects of it, I think he could take what Bryson is trying to do scientifically and actually make it work. Yeah. Where he's just trying to muscle his way around the course.
You know what I find interesting in watching Bryson not only on the drives but on the green is how much he puts a lot of science behind every putt. I mean, he's looking at every angle. The guy, I'm surprised he doesn't get tagged with time delay more often, because he takes forever when he's on the green. Like, he is looking at it like every 6 inches he moves and he reads it, and every 6 inches he moves and he reads it. It's like, Jesus Christ, the guy takes forever to do anything. I can't imagine what he's like in bed. But
but you know what? You brought up.
What's my angle of approach here, huh?
It's hard, but kind of all over the place.
It's kind of hard. Should I dive in or?
You did bring up and mention that there were no. It wasn't yardage book. They had no greens.
They had no green book, and you called bullshit on that.
I said they had yardage books, so that's why that was.
Yeah.
So everything they had in there, the only thing that wasn't provided to them were actual, like, which way the greens are running.
Right.
So greens books. So I don't know if it was Nance or Faldo or something, he had said, hey, this is destroying Bryson. Yeah. Where he has all that math and he can do all those, scientific or whatever based on those greens books. He goes, this is where a Spieth and, he goes, that the field players that know how to read the greens and can feel it made such a world of a difference for him. And I just felt bad because I think Spieth could have gave a run for it. I talked to Chris probably about 2 hours before the end. I called it. I said, hey, this is going to come down to one shot. It's going to be a one-shot win. And he literally blew it in the last putt. He could have secured it. It was a one-shot win. But again, absolute, congrats to, Hiziki, Zalatoris. I mean, they played such great
You're
ball.
Trying to find a way to say Matsuamo's last name.
Oh, you should have heard the name too, same today.
He won.
Snuffleupagus, Montezuma, Ziggy.
He's now the second most famous person in Japan next to Godzilla.
He's huge in Japan.
They're erecting statues right now.
But
not very tall.
Here's
Not very tall.
So you saw that the women's amateur was also young by a young lady from Japan. So Japan is literally taking back both master spots in the same year. One of the announcers said it. He goes, "Don't be surprised if he doesn't end up lighting the Olympic torch."
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Yep.
This is huge. I mean, and they kept on saying. You were watching the end?
Lighting the Olympic torch where? In China?
They said that he don't be surprised if he doesn't want to end up lighting the Olympic torch. I don't know.
That was what the announcer quote said. Yeah, and then there was another guy agreed.
Japan, but in China.
I don't know, fucktard. I just said that's what the announcer said.
I know what the announcer said, but the announcer's a moron. He probably thought it was in Japan and not China.
Whichever way. It's what the announcer has said. So what I think is unique in the aspect of this whole thing is, did you notice? It's the first time I've ever seen this done on the Masters, because he was coming in and they were pretty much saying he had won it. They had started showing the Japan announcers replaying some of the shots, so they were going to the audio of the Japan announcers. Which I was like, well, this is interesting. I was like, let alone that Japan's going to win this. It's going to be huge, as Chris said. It's going to be unbelievable, for Japan to go back. But to take back male and female.
Surprised they're not rioting in the streets right now.
Probably.
They might be. I don't know. We don't have a live feed. Let me see if I can find that here real quick. I'm just
kidding. Japan, not China.
Oh, jeez. Got mixed up again.
You should write into the announcers. You know how they send, "Hey, that ball moved. There should be a penalty." You should, "Hey, you got that wrong, announcer."
There should be a penalty for the announcer.
The announcer.
You can't. Yeah, they got rid of that, right? You can't do that anymore, I think.
Oh, they did it during the
tournament. Did they just do it?
The answer.
Did they give it back to answer? Did they give it back to him or not?
Because I don't know. I thought that they determined 2 years ago when that crap went down. Like with Lexi and all those people, they finally went, no more of this crap.
Yeah. So it was.
No, I think it stood. I think it stood. I don't think
because the players were like, "That's it. We're against this. It's ridiculous."
I know they did it during the tournament.
Yeah, who called the one on the sand trap this time?
Answer. Who called it in?
Who called it? Yeah, was it someone who called it in? It wasn't on the court.
It wasn't.
It was stated that it was saw on TV.
Yeah,
it was saw on the cameras. The argument to Chris's defense, and I've said before, I'm going, dude, they're shooting in 4K cameras, zooming in so you can count the grains. There's no way in the world that was seen by the naked eye.
Well, at the end of the day, why have judges there then?
Right.
We can start doing then we start overturning.
I just when golf got instant replay, it was viewable by
PI. I mean, start doing it for NFL. Start doing it for basketball. It's stupid. That's why you have judges there. That's the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah, so I don't know if they reversed it or not. I know it was a controversy.
They did not. It held, and I think they're just.
It held, and then he got DQ'd, right? Or because he turned in a bad card too.
No, that was somebody else.
That was somebody else. Yeah, ended up getting disqualified. Wolfie.
Yeah, Wolfie got disqualified for turning in. He turned in a 4, but he actually turned in a 5. So they went back and reviewed
that's his
it.
fault if he can't count.
Exactly. No, there's nothing wrong with that. That's legit.
Let's go around the horn, and
David can tell you how that works.
Let's see. How did you think the Masters overall for 2021 went down?
Me?
Yeah.
I thought this was exciting. I liked the fact that the leaders every day was changing. It wasn't a runaway, and it wasn't that the who was in the lead on day 2 is not who won, right? So that's really made it really interesting. And even having the rookie, right, the first timer come back, whatever, come back, zippy that David called him all day. That he came back, because I thought, okay, well, here's where he falls off the rails because his inexperience when he just started stinking a lot, and then he still came back in his last few holes and held it together. And if there had been a shootout, I thought it would have been really cool to see if there had been the last 3 holes to play it off between those two.
Yeah.
So, Chris, what did you think of the 2020-21 Masters tournament?
I enjoyed it. I always like it when it comes down to the last 4 holes, and I like to see who chokes, which was everybody had a choke hole.
Yeah.
And I think every single one of them put it in the water, pulled one.
I felt Xander.
And things were getting interesting because it was like, okay, it's still not anybody's tournament. It could go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that shot that Hideki put over the green, across the way, into the water, and it was like, dude,
that was the door. That was the door for
Xander.
Yeah, and then he turns around and triples.
Mm-hmm. I know.
And
did you watch his interview afterwards? Did you guys see his interview and they were asking about that shot?
We were at a brewery, so I didn't see any interviews.
Oh, so. He said that he let too many veterans get into his head on that one. And he said that he didn't, he was going for it. He didn't he said he was chasing. So he had to be a little bit aggressive. And everybody he talked to had said that he needed to play that line. And he said his natural would have gone, I think, to the right. And he said he went against that and went with what the veterans would traditionally have said to do. And they asked if he played it again. He said, I would have played my traditional shot probably.
Interesting.
Go with your instinct.
Yeah.
He said he said it was all about feel, and he's like, I'm going to lock that one into the knowledge base, and next time I'm here, remember that.
It was like 2019 when Tiger was on Amen Corner, and he put it right in the middle between the bunkers because Jack had always said, when in doubt, put it right there. Don't go for it because you're going to roll off the back of the green or roll off the front. And the other two went for it in 2019, and he just put it in the center, and that was it, really.
Wow.
Played it safe.
All right. So, Nick, what was your final review of Masters 2021?
I think you should go first.
Okay. So
you should leave the winner for last. That's really what I'm saying.
Oh.
So
You guys are going to hear about this for at least 4 weeks.
My final review for the Masters of 2021, I thought it was a very, very epic end. It wasn't as it started. Hey, he just needs to go out, hold his 4 shots, just skirt into the end. Again, if it wouldn't have been for that water shot right there, I think the championship would have gone a different way. Had he had not done that, because I think the wheels started to come off a little bit with as he get putting it in the water. But then turn around the next hole and watch the one guy, he can actually see moving the number. Right. Turn around and put it in the water, I think gave him that breath of like, okay, I only got 2 more holes at this point. There was my threat. And I think it would have gone the other way. So I do like the fact that it came down to a battle. I even love the fact that he missed it at the end. Sand, all you had to do was just tap it in. He missed it, have the tap mat, even though it was a 2-putt for the win. I just love the aspect of it. Like, it even came down to that. Like,
right.
Because the number of horseshoe putts that we saw in the Masters, I would love to see that stat. Had to have been over 12 or higher of people that literally were walking in their putt and just watched it lip. It could have happened to him right there. And Zalatoris was on the range, staying warm. I thought that was a brilliant move, for being a young kid and stuff like that was brilliant. So I think it was, despite Tiger not being in it, and I'm always a Tiger Woods fan, I still turned out with the play of fantasy here, and I will do it one last time. The championship trophy going over to Duffer 2. He gets it until the next fantasy round of play here, or the next major Duffer tournament. The winner goes to you. With that being said, I will give you the final word for the Masters 2021.
And I have to agree with that. What everybody said thus far. I do think that having the fantasy league kept me engaged. I don't typically watch all 4 days ever. There's no reason for me to watch day 1, day 2. I'll watch the highlights, but I don't watch. But this kept me engaged throughout the entire time. The only time I was out on a little bit of a road trip yesterday, so I didn't watch yesterday. I watched all the highlights when I could and just kind of kept checking where I was in the standings. But no, this was a fantastic idea. I loved it. I love that we all got in on it and gave each other so much shit, which is awesome. And I can't wait to do it again soon. To take a second victory. I think after the second victory, I will solidify myself as a true, genuine fantasy league champion. This time might have been a fluke, although I did do a lot of homework, aka stalking on Zalatoris. So with that, I mean, exactly. I have to wear a hat, Chris, because if not, my head actually you'll see it get bigger. It's pretty. I think that's what happens down. Anyway, so. Want to thank everybody for being here. It's been a lot of fun. I can't wait to do it again with the same group and maybe more. I don't know how many people we can have in a fantasy league.
We got 12 in this last one. There was 12 that showed up for this last one. So again, shout out to all those. We will get some for MF Bacon, B Gruba. I'm even gonna, once I figure out who T Dubs is, Addo and Steven, you guys will have a Duffer's, swag bag coming your way. So look out for that. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, always make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, smash. Let us know where you want us to come out and review. We'll be out there as soon as we get them into the bank here and get them loaded them up for season 3. Any last words, everybody?
No, it was fun. Next time.
Yes. Thank you guys for being here. Have a wonderful evening.
I won't pick couples next time.
It's probably it's
you can do what David does. Do what David does and find what are you guys doing? Who are you picking? Who are you picking? And then go with the herd.
The herd mentality. Zalatoris. Go with Zalatoris. He's a great kid. All right, guys. Well, thanks again. Appreciate everybody's time. And like David said, thank you for continuing to support the channel. And we'll see you soon.
Bye.
See you guys.